I am originally from Baghdad, Iraq, but we've been in Indiana since 1970, so I refer to myself as a Baghdadi Hoosier. We actually had to leave Iraq twice. We left, we came to the United States. So for 5 years, we were in the United States, and of course, on Thanksgiving, we also celebrated it. So when we returned to Iraq in 1964, my parents decided that we should continue the tradition of Thanksgiving, even though we were in Baghdad, and indeed we did. And it was no small feat finding a turkey in Baghdad in those days. It wasn't eaten much, but sure enough, we had turkey for Thanksgiving, and there was apple pie and iced tea, which was considered an abomination, but I think we were the first family in Iraq to introduce iced tea. When we came to the States early on, when there was not a large Muslim or even Arab population in Bloomington, it was pretty lonely. We were almost the only Muslims, or maybe out of a handful. And the holidays would come and go, and if we didn't keep track, we wouldn't even know. So initially it was very lonely, but then as the student population from Muslim countries increased in Bloomington, it became more festive. Yes, we do. My mother will spend hours in the kitchen making a turkey, although it's sort of with Iraqi spices and whatnot, and frankly I think it tastes much better than sort of an American-made turkey. So we have turkey prepared the way my mother prepares it, and it's the most delicious, one of the most delicious meals that I've had. And then we will have a host of other Iraqi food, which consists of, salads that have now sort of made it into American cuisine, like tabbouleh, baba ghanoush, hummus bطحينة. Usually there is a huge spread of food in our culture. It's very impolite to have just enough food for whoever is there. So we wind up with a lot of leftovers, and we keep inviting our friends over the day after to join us, in sort of continuing the celebration, whether it's for Thanksgiving or for the Eid or whatever it is. This is what we do. The mosque was invited to march in the 4th of July parade, and so indeed we did march. And I found it to be an extremely moving experience. It has not been the easiest of times, being a Muslim, being an Arab, and being an Iraqi. It never has been, but particularly since September of 2001. And seeing people applauding as we marched by, it was all I could do to keep from not crying, but just really sobbing. The sense of belonging was more important to me than I thought. As for the religious holidays, we celebrate them with our friends. So we don't have a Christmas tree at home. Because it's not our holiday per se. However, we celebrate with our Christian friends by, buying gifts, exchanging greetings. The same thing at Easter time. And they celebrate our holidays, in the same way. This is how it was in Iraq. It's very much a multicultural society that was like that for centuries on. So there was this tradition of celebrating each other's holidays by giving greetings during those holidays. Ramadan is called the month of the community. One reflection of that is the meal was served every single day at Ramadan for people who are unable to cook. Let's say they live in a dorm. So this is all the community coming together to do things together as a community. It's not just the Muslim community coming together, really, but the various other communities coming together for a meal. It's just really wonderful. It's very uplifting, and in difficult times, when I think of that, it sort of gives me hope. I think my favorite holiday is the Eid following Ramadan, because it so marks sort of the turnover of going from not eating to eating. The fast sort of gives you a high, a spiritual high, just from knowing that you were given this gift that you were able to carry out. So I love that. It's actually a 3-day celebration, the Eid. Back home in Baghdad, we would go from house to house, starting with my grandparents, to wish them a happy Eid. And so the celebration there seemed, bigger than life. I've been here since I was a sophomore in high school. And people were curious about me as an Iraqi. Had I seen a car before? Had I seen a refrigerator before coming to the US? Did I have a pet camel? And I feel, here we are, my 39th year in the States, and I feel that I have never moved from square one to square two in talking about Islam. I think as a Muslim, I would like my Christian and Jewish friends to understand that we worship the God of Abraham and Moses and Jesus. I cannot give a description of the Almighty. I can only say that we bow our head down to whoever Jesus bowed to whoever Moses bowed to whoever Abraham bowed to, and I will let you figure out who that is. But it is not an idol. It is not the Prophet Muhammad. It is the Almighty.
Support for Voices and Visions comes from the Social Science Research Council, the SSRC, leading innovation in the social sciences and educating the next generation of social science researchers.